Quite an achievement to have survived all 4 years in the White House, because there was quite a big turnover of staff during that time, wasn't there?
Well, I think when you just try and do the right thing, everything in life is a lot easier, isn't it?
Well, you've done it, and I know the president thinks very highly of you. You were the architect in many ways of the border policy, and I know you were busy constructing speeches on this issue, and Trump himself said in the interview that actually it was the border policy in 2016, above all, that got Americans out to vote for him, because actually it's just the hugest insult, isn't it, to people who legally come into America to see people illegally coming into America. What happened with the border wall, that great big beautiful wall that we heard so much about in 2016?
Well, President Trump put together, and I was proud to be able to, on his behalf, help to implement these policies. He put together the most robust security regime on our southern border that this country has ever seen, and frankly that any country in the Western world has ever seen.
Was the wall completed?
All of the wall, save for a few sections that we needed to complete, were completed. Those sections, the contracts were executed, the steel was purchased, it's lying there on the ground right now. Joe Biden stopped construction on the remaining sections in the high traffic areas. But it's a full security regime that he put into place. In other words, we have illegal immigration from coming across in every way imaginable. We have people coming across by boat. We have people coming across through the Rio Grande. We have people coming across through tunnel. Everything you could possibly imagine is happening there on the southern border. And he put in place a system, and I was proud to be part of that, that simply said if you come illegally, you go either to your home country, you go back to Mexico, or you go to a safe third country. And that interlocking network of international agreements meant that not a single illegal immigrant was released on a discretionary basis into our country in 2020 unless there was a medical emergency.
The numbers that are crossing the southern border, or the numbers that are crossing the border and being detected, because clearly from what I saw in Arizona, a lot of people that are coming in are just not being detected. Just give all of our viewers some indication of the size of this problem.
Well, since President Biden ripped out the Trump border controls and replace them with the catch and release policy that we're seeing today, all of planet Earth is illegally knocking and breaking into our country. You have numbers that defy categorization. You know, you're averaging nearly 200,000 a month of known apprehensions. And then, as you mentioned, what we call in the industry the gotaways is an unknowably large number. You have basically a large metropolitan city being added every single month to the population of the United States of America illegally across our southern border. But this is fundamentally an issue about whether or not sovereign people can control their own borders and immigration policy.
Yes.
And that's what it's really about.
That rings a bell,
right,
in
yes.
terms of the British debate. But many of the Democrats would say, look, America was built on immigration. It's a massive country. There's heaps of room. What's the problem, Stephen Miller?
Well, first of all, let's say that you have a family home and you're trying to deal with health care, education, play dates for your kid, repairs, and every single night your house is being broken into. How can you possibly focus on the basics, the fundamentals of life, when you're dealing with that security threat night after night? That's what's happening to our country.
Well, you could be broken into by Americans that are legally living here and citizens. I mean, crime.
But our country is a family just as surely as any household in this nation is. And so my point is, what's happening on our border is like a home invasion to the country itself. So we can't achieve the fundamentals as a country of creating a workable healthcare system, a workable education system, a workable public safety system, if we have unknown people breaking into our country night after night after night. But more than that, there's a lot of ahistorical comments about immigration in this country. So first of all, America, and I think you would understand this better than most, was founded not by immigrants, but by colonists.
It was.
Yes. And that's an important point.
I knew at some point somebody would spoil this by reminding us of the historical, because you were the first Brexit, of course. But no, go on. Go
and
on,
so we started as a former British colony, and we created a polity. We created a nation state, and a nation state then establishes rules and conditions for the successive generations that can enter that country. Those rules have changed over time. The aperture has been widened, and other times it's been slammed shut. But the people through their legislature, establish the conditions for who gets to join our national family. And when the government willfully, capriciously, purposefully violates those rules, it has made itself an illegitimate government.
Does this become the #1 issue in the run-up to the all-important midterms next November?
I think it is the single most important issue in the midterms. I think if Republicans are clear-eyed about saying, if we take back the House, we will attach to every single government funding measure requirements for border security and dare the president to veto them, I think they will win a majority the likes of which we can't even imagine.